Welcome to the channel, Quotes. Today we are going to explain 3 of the quotes of Hazrat Imam Hussain. Quote number 1 is, "Death with dignity is better than a life of humiliation." This saying encapsulates a profound and fundamental principle that Hazrat Imam Hussain exemplified through his actions and sacrifice. In the context of Imam Hussein's life, this saying reflects his decision to stand up against the oppressive and unjust rule of the Umayyad Caliph Yazid, even though it ultimately led to his martyrdom at the Battle of Karbala in 680 CE. Imam Hussein's refusal to submit to tyranny and oppression, even in the face of overwhelming odds, highlights the value he placed on maintaining his dignity and principles. Imam Hussain knew that submitting to Yazid's rule would mean compromising his principles, betraying the legacy of his grandfather Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and living a life of humiliation under a tyrannical regime. He believed that it was far more honorable to stand up for truth, justice, and the values of Islam, even if it meant facing death in the process. Imam Hussein's stance also emphasizes that true life and freedom are not merely about physical existence, but are rooted in spiritual and moral values. Quote number 2 is, "He who has 1,000 defects should not despair of salvation." This saying carries a message of hope, mercy, and encouragement for individuals who might feel overwhelmed by their imperfections and mistakes. In Islamic teachings, the concept of salvation is closely tied to the idea of God's mercy and forgiveness. It acknowledges that human beings are inherently imperfect and prone to making mistakes or committing sins. However, this imperfection and the presence of flaws should not lead a person to lose hope in attaining salvation or God's forgiveness. The saying attributed to Hazrat Imam Hussain emphasizes that no matter how many defects or shortcomings a person may have, they should not give up on the possibility of redemption and salvation. The recognition of one's flaws should not become a barrier to seeking forgiveness, striving for improvement, and ultimately attaining closeness to God. This saying serves as a reminder that everyone is on a journey of self-improvement and spiritual growth. But the key is to remain steadfast in seeking God's forgiveness and working towards becoming a better person. Quote number 3 is, "He who gives up something for the sake of God will find something better." This saying conveys a profound spiritual principle in Islam, and it is a concept that is present in various religious and philosophical traditions as well. At its core, this saying encourages believers to prioritize their devotion to God and act selflessly, even if it means sacrificing something they value. When a person willingly gives up or lets go of something they cherish, whether it be material possessions, desires, personal ambitions, or even certain relationships, solely for the sake of pleasing God or following His commandments. They are demonstrating their sincerity and commitment to their faith. Few aspects can explain this saying briefly. 1. Trust in God's wisdom. 2. Rewards and blessings are must thing after believing in God. 3. Detachment from worldly attachments. 4. Greater spiritual fulfillment. 5. Generosity and compassion. Overall, the saying reminds believers that acts of selflessness and sacrifice for God's sake are not in vain. They are always rewarded by Almighty Allah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.